Well, good evening everyone. Welcome back to the channel. This is what's going to be the start of episode 21. It's hard to believe that 21 episodes in already, but there we go. So yeah, I've had a huge tidy up of the workbenches. The batteries in there, trickle charging away at the minute. So got some bits to sort out. Got the coil bracket to sort out, clean, rust treat, prime paint. I have also got the starter to give a good degrease and clean up of it. The front wiper mechanism and the spindles need sorting out, need stripping, cleaning and greasing up. I've got the front calipers here to do, and as per usual, yeah, you guessed it, there's blue hammerite on the pipes. Never mind. So now I've got an issue, and thankfully they made a step to the breach. In the last video, you might recall, I was going to change the input shaft seal, and to do that, obviously you have to remove the clutch arm from the release fork rod. So somebody had knocked in a threaded piece of rod, piece of bolt, or a threaded rod. I'm not quite sure, it's hard to tell. They'd knocked it in, and obviously is a little bit sticking out. I don't know whether you can see it from there, but there's still about 2.5 to 3 millimeters sticking out the other end. So I ground it flush, dynafiled it a little bit, center punched it, and set off to drill it out really carefully, plenty of coolant. And on the fifth bite inward, I'm not sure why, but the drill snapped, and of course with that becomes big problems. So I'm going to try and figure out a way to move it. However, in the meantime, a mate of mine, Tristan, has stepped in to save the continuation of the project. He has a B3 gearbox with all the bits on it, so hopefully get the arm and the fork arm and everything else off it, hopefully, to put on this one. So yeah, that's really at the minute been the only kind of job stopper on the project. So it's, you know, if it remains like that, then I can take that all day long. That's not you know, something I can't sort. So but yeah, moving on. I've had a huge tidy up of the garage. The engine is covered up, the car is covered up. So really the plan is now to prepare under the bonnet, get the car side of it ready whilst I try and take the arm off the gearbox. I've been busy buying bits. I've made a small start. I've got these jig 6 fittings here to put on the fuel feed and return, courtesy of Motormech and Motorsport Tools up here in North Wales. I've already had other fittings sorted out, so it's you know, it's not looking too bad. I've decided to go, as I previously mentioned, for the PVC covered braided Teflon hoses, and as you can see, I've already had a go at fitting an end on this just to reacquaint myself with fitting them. So that's not too bad. So it's sorted out. I made I made a purchase this evening. Let's get the bonnet lifted on the car. I made the purchase this evening. I was just looking at how it's going to be underneath the bonnet. It's obviously a lot of grey and quite a lot of black in there, which is one of the main reasons why I decided to throw these bad boys in, just to kind of give it a little bit of a sparkle. So although I bought the kit with 290 degrees jig 10 elbows, 245s, and there were 2 straight fittings on them, I've just purchased this evening red and blue anodized 90 degrees elbows, because 90 degrees will work with what I want to do. So the stealth black ones will be going, and I'll be replacing them with red and blue anodized items. As previously mentioned as well, I've covered the heat reflector plate here, the heat shield, with this gold reflective tape. I've also put a little bit on the speedo cable just to prevent it from oh hello to prevent it from heating up. Not that it will massively. There you go, for that we've got 1 dog horsepower underneath the bonnet. Anyway, or 1 Westy power. So so yeah, it's quite a lot of planning going on at the minute. Shenanigans with the gearbox, but yeah, nothing that can't be sorted out. Oh yeah, I painted the accelerator pedal. That's ready to go back on. But yeah, that's it for a minute. See you in the next bit. Good evening. It's Thursday evening here at the Motorsports. The afternoon's been spent sorting out clutch release fork, an arm, and a pin that came out, which I've just ground the top end off of it to tidy it up. From a good mate of mine, Tristan. He donated the bits to the project. I also got 2 door gutter seals in really good condition. I just need to clean where the double-sided tape is on them, clean them all off, and I can fit these to the car at some point. So sadly, I don't like doing it, but like I said previously, the drill snapped inside this. The only way to take it out is if I grind the fork arm out and take it out that way in 2 bits. Reluctantly, I might add. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and grind it out. Alright, here we go. Take 2. Oh, plug it back in. I was trying to prise it off, knock it off with a chisel. Is I didn't want it to break and trap the grinding disc inside. So there we go. Sadly, the end of the clutch release fork in the B3 gearbox. Let's get the vacuum in. Get rid of any of the grinding disc powder and any of the crud that might be in there. So, right. that's that job done. Okay, so that's it for a minute. I'm going to get things cleaned up, and I'll be installing the input shaft seal and the drive shaft seals once I'm back. See you in a minute. There we go, welcome back. Now, right, it's time to install the input seal shaft seal, the item that's created all this issues. But there's no way I was putting a gearbox back on the engine without changing it, because you know, if you don't change it, it's a part worth 15 quid, whatever. That could ruin an expensive clutch. So there we go. I've oiled a little bit of the seal to make sure it goes over, and you just push it over the input shaft seal and then make sure it's seated. So that's all good. And then you've got 3 M6 bolts holding it in like that. Screw them in pretty well. Right, let's go and get the get some tools. Oh, 11mm, okay. Forgot about that. There we go. Just 11mm. There we go. There we go. Right. One, 2, 3. There we go. Right, okay, so that's the seal fitted. Time to get the clutch fork back in now. So let's get this tripod up and sort it out. So I'm going to turn that up. There we go. I seem to have misplaced my general purpose grease, so I've got some CV joint Lith Molly CV joint grease here, but it'll do a general purpose greasing anyway, so it's not so bad. So I'm gonna put sort of a fair amount on the shaft. Give it on nicely. I'm gonna put a little bit inside in here in the bush. So clutch fork in through the top, down into the bottom. Get the excess out. Don't want this flying around the gearbox. That's all. In fact, actually, I'll take this off a little bit. Just make sure I'm wiping. There's the excess around the top. Lovely. Right then. So, top bush next. Get some more grease. The bushes actually are pretty good. There's virtually no play in them, which is quite amazing actually, considering how they look. So he'll definitely do another spin, so I'm just going to get some grease around here. So that goes in that way. Okay, right, let's go. Oops, put this back in on there. And then smooth. Right, I'm going to get this grease off my fingers. Happy days. So lovely and smooth. So put the gearbox back on its ass. Actually, can't do that yet. I need to change the drive shaft seals. So, as I've alluded to in another part, I have genuine Persia ones here. Small seal, larger seal. I'll put a bit of this on there actually to help it sit. Oops. Okay, one seal gone. Wipe. Do that there. Get a socket. Oh, I haven't got anything big enough. Right, okay. Come on, tap it in. I know, it's not the right way, but I haven't really got any other choice. Right, let's do it. Bollocks, double bollocks into the fire. Right, eventually it went in. It's looking okay, no issues, nice and flush. So on the other side, I'm going to put underneath this. There we go. Right then, let's get this other one out. Tight. Yeah, no issue, no scoring on the bore. Let's get the cloth. Excellent. Let's get the new seal in. As you can actually probably see, taking a bit of a beating trying to get the other arm up, and then I'll just put a fresh little bit of paint, something just to tidy it up. It'll be covered in crap in no time. I'll put just a smidgen of grease in there. Sadly, I haven't got a socket big enough to do this. I'm have to work it in carefully, says I. There we go. Not the best way to put it in. I've lent my proper tool away, so alright, I'll have to do needs must. So now we have two new drive shaft seals on the gearbox. Large, small, new input shaft seal. The actual shaft is now in position. So now I'm going to clean and tidy up this arm so I can install it back on the gearbox. I'll see you in a minute. Arm's now back on the gearbox. Got a bit of tidying up to do here and there, nothing major, but everything's rocking and rolling. Back in the game. So seals are all fitted on the diff. So yeah, the gearbox is ready to go back onto the engine. So I'm going to do that just before the engine goes in the car, actually, just to save some space. And I've got some bits now to do on the actual car itself. I need to put the sensor loom through the bulkhead grommets, so I've got that to do. I'm going to be taking the master cylinder off, as if you've been following this from this project from the start or from early on. Basically, these aren't very tight at all. They've just literally been tightened, run down just up and against the master cylinder surface. So to put the engine back in, because of course there's not much clearance between master cylinder and the camshaft. Yeah, battery just ran out. Yeah, I was saying that basically the master cylinder is going to be coming off to give me more space to drop the engine in nicely. Of course the header tank and catch tank are coming out. The junction boxes are also coming out. Just give me as much room as I can. We're taking that linkage off, giving that a good clean. I also need to put the split pin type fastener in for the clutch cable onto the subframe. And that's pretty much it. It's very close to getting into the car now. Obviously I'll have to take the slum panel off the grille, the bumper and the lights and bits. In fact, I might not even take the lights out. I might just put some cloths over them. It should be out of the way for that, because the engine, as you might remember, when it came out of the car, was on maximum angle actually on the spreader bar on the hoist. So and of course I'll have to lift the bonnet up, but I'll put the car on the axle stands, wheels off, in order to prepare it, because I took the engine out with the car on the axle stands. It was easier to get to things underneath, etc, etc. Yeah, very close now to having that in there, and they can get on with the job of doing all the plumbing, reconnecting the electrical stuff, making sure that everything runs nicely and tidily, that no wires cables are gonna fret anywhere. All the connectors are all good, no issues. Also, obviously, got to put the exhaust manifold back in before the engine goes in. So yeah, all systems go, and hopefully by the end of this weekend, I should have the engine sitting in the car at the very least. So, you know, I'm not home. I'm out all day on Sunday, so till evening, and yeah, fingers crossed for that. And I'll see you in the next bit. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Very wet, soggy Saturday morning here at 205 Motorsport, and yeah, pretty much like most of the Saturdays that I've spent filming this project. So yeah, we're at I'm at a critical stage of the project. So today is the day that I'm going to be putting the gearbox, complete with the new well, the replacement arms, clutch arm and release fork, back on to the engine, and the engine back into the car. So exciting times, quite a bit to do today. First things first, I'm going to have to clean and fit the pipes onto the back rear manifold on the engine, because once the engine's in, they'll be awkward to put in, especially when you haven't got a 2-poster amp. So a bit of forward thinking that to do with certain things. So got to put the 2 pipes back on. I need to clean them first. I've already checked them, they're alright. They just need a good clean with some G101. Remove the gasket and the nuts prior to going on. I then need to take the bulkhead pipe bracket off. I also need to fit the engine sensor loom in through the bulkhead, and then obviously put the grommet in and make sure everything's secure. I need to secure the clutch cable onto the subframe via a split pin type arrangement that I've made, which is what you get on them originally anyway. I need to take the header tank off, oil catch tank. I'm also going to take the master cylinder off. Obviously the whole system's empty at the minute, so it'll give me a little bit more waggle room when I go to put the engine in. I then need to lift the car up. I'm going to be putting it on the 3x3s like I did the last time round, just to lift the car up towards the air a little bit more, just so to make things a bit easier. So I can go underneath and secure the lower lower engine mount fork, which also have the BBM Group N bushes in them. So yeah, lots and lots to do. I've decided not to remove the bonnet. Now it's all lined up nicely. What I'm going to do is, when it's up on the 3x3s, I'm going to be disconnecting the bonnet stay, and now because I've got the catch hook on the bonnet, I'm going to be putting a nice piece of string from the joist down to hold the bonnet up vertically, so it's to give me extra bit of room to do things. So that's the plan today. So I'm going to get moving some bits, and I'll see you in a bit. Right, welcome back. Now it's time to do the next two jobs. So the first job is to get the sensor loom back into the engine bay. There's going to be a bit of a laugh, I think, but I'll get it done. So grab it out and sit that on there, and I'll speak to you from the inside of the car. Not too much it really. That's not bloody good, is it? Right, that's the loom in. I've got the manifold in through the tunnel, so it's just a case of connecting it up underneath now. So I can't really show you that much into there, it's dark. I haven't got it set up properly for this GoPro, but I'll see you in a minute. Right, that's the manifold joint secured. Of course, underneath the car is blue at the minute, but that's once it's on the road, I'm going to get it all sorted out. It's going all black. There's bits of it that are already kind of black, but it's solid enough underneath. So I'm going to get it all sorted out and painted nice and black. So happy days. So that's that there. I'm not going to close that down for the minute until I get the engine in and the manifold tighten up against the back of the engine. And it should be pretty good. I'll see you in a minute. Right, just in the process of taking off the copper flashed mate nuts away from the manifold studs and the manifold gasket in preparation for putting it back on. So that's those back in there. We have washers and spring washers to go with those. Let's have a look. So 1, 2, 3, and there's 9 studs on this. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. One in case I drop one. Right, okay, happy days on that one. So oh yeah, that's a spare one. I'll put that back in there. Right, okay, so my flat washers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's number 9. There we go. And there's the 9th. Actually, my OCD is getting the better of me, and it looks a bit different. That okay? Let's have a look. Another one the same. I know it's really bad, isn't it? But it is what it is for me. So anyway, right, okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So put those back, relegate those into there, along with those into there, roll pins into there and out of the way. So right, so they're prepared, ready to go. So now we've got the manifold in situ. I've jacked the car up. It's now on full extension on the axle stands. I need to sort the two pipes out to put on the engine. I need to disconnect this, put a screw in the top in there on the joist, get a nice piece of string, get a bit of sponge or something in here to stop the string from rubbing in, and then that way I'll have straight access to put the engine in. I've taken the master cylinder off just for some extra room so the cam covers don't get damaged, get broken. Everything's off, header tank, catch tank, and of course all the front end. And I decided to leave the lamps. I should have enough room, and should be careful. I'm going to put cardboard on the tops of these, cardboard along the tops of here, including the chassis legs, down here, and over then around the front here again. So just to make sure that nothing gets scratched. It is going to be a tight fit, and I won't lie, it's something I've not dreaded, but I've been a bit anxious about this because it is a fairly serious lump going into a small space, not almost as tight as a 16 valve going back into the 106, which is no space in that, certainly from between the engine and the bulkhead. So right, okay, so time to prep the pipes and stuff. See you in a bit. Right, welcome back. Two pipes thoroughly cleaned and looking almost like new actually. G101 with about 20% water in it, and it moves things. I know this is split, it's the old hose has been replaced. It moves it from this kind of mess to that. It really is impressive. So just got another couple of pipes to do now really. As you might have recollected in the previous episode, if you've been following me that long, I bought a new top hose, new bottom hose. Not quite sure what the third hose is, but it's there. And a load of new clips to fit the bits on. I've got these few pipes here that have been obviously modified to fit the conversion. So I've got these to clean, put them in the washing machine. I'll need new clips for that pipe. The old top hose, it will clean up probably, but I'm not going to waste too much time on that one. I'll hang on to it in case I need a top hose in the future. That should clean up alright. If it does, then I'll hang on to it. Two pipes, the header tank pipe and the return pipe. I think it's the return pipe, I'm not sure, but anyway, all will become clear as I'm going along. So that's pretty much it at the minute. I'll see you in a bit. Welcome back everyone. Now all the pipes have been cleaned, checked again, and basically the pipes that will be awkward to get to are fitted on the back of the engine, ready to go. So basically the plan is to remove the cam cover next, and the throttle bodies, so none of this gets damaged when it goes into the car and when the hoist is connected up. So so that's the next bit. The car, as I've said earlier, is ready now to receive the engine. I decided against the basically the split pin method. I put it on a nice P-clip, so that will keep it nice and secure there. So I just didn't fancy the idea of the split pin scenario. So it's all done and dusted now. Took a little bit of time to do it, but never mind. Some of these things are worth doing. So I'm going to put you on a time lapse now, just when I start stripping all the bits out, and I'll see you in a minute. Right, welcome back. The two engine lifting points are now in situ. Although I'm not happy with this one, I'm going to just adjust it quickly before we crack on. So yes, from the engine point of view now, we just need to go and get the hoist in. I just need to go and get the hoist in and lift it, detach it from the engine servicing stand. Now fill up the gearbox to it. Happy days in there, and take it from there. So right, I'll see you in a bit. Right, that's the gearbox on the engine, rocking away nicely there. So not wanting to keep it hanging around for very long, I'm going to drop it back down. I'm going to drop it back down and put all the cardboard and the protective bits on the car. So I'll see you in a minute. Well, welcome back everyone. Let's put that there. The engine is now in, it's home. All the mounts tightened up, and the manifold is all tightened up against to the head, gasket and everything in order, exhaust lined up. I just need to clamp down the U-bolt, the clamp that holds the manifold section to the rest of the system. So I'll be doing that shortly. So yeah, it was a bit of a tight squeeze to get the car, the engine in the car. Like an absolute tip. I pressed the button, went recorded, or so I thought. What had actually happened, I'd grabbed the camera, moved it, moved the function, and it bipped. So when I thought it was recording, putting the engine in, it just changed function. So I'm not happy at all with that. Right, but you know, it is what it is, unfortunately. So peeved about that. Yeah, so it's just to crack on with one last job this evening, and that's to just mount these back on the engine. I don't want them running around loose loose in the garage. So going to fit the Thermatech. So I've just offered it up onto the cylinder head, and I noticed that the holes, the alignments weren't right, even though that the rest of the holes were good. This was for an Mi16, so I've just had to slightly elongate the gasket, but it should work. It should work, and go in without any issues. So yeah, close shave there. I really thought I was in the proverbial because of that. But yeah, it went in. As you knew, I left the master cylinder off, which made a massive difference for room to work around the car. All the pipes on the back end of the engine were tightened up. I've just secured these two now on the bulkhead from the heater matrix. But yeah, as you can see, let me just get some light on there actually. As you can see, if I'd have left the master cylinder on, it would have been a whole lot more tricky to try and shoehorn it in, and it is a fair old lump compared to fitting a 16 valve in there, or a normal 8 valve TU engine. So yeah, really chuffed actually. It's all gone well, no issues. Just a minor chip on the brake servo that I'll have to touch up. Just literally a very minor chip there, and one at the bottom. It's just the heater pipe was flexing around, so that is where it is. So I'll touch that up. But yeah, no other issues. No grey paint scratched, which is a massive relief. But yeah, that's it for a minute. I'll see you in a bit. Welcome back again, everyone, and it's the last video for this evening. Now actually it's Saturday evening. Yeah, just mounted the throttle bodies, fitted a dipstick tube, put some of the fittings back on, just to try and bit of a thinking game now to try and figure out where I think I'm gonna put the fuel pressure regulator in here actually. But yeah, I've temporarily mounted the filter. I've gone and sorted out a nice all-in-one banjo fitting, and obviously the connector goes straight on there. So I need to connect the bottom up, which is a bit of an interesting job actually, but you know, it's not bad. Yeah, I've temporarily put the ignition lead cover back on, and put the slam panel on for now, just to get it out of the way so it doesn't get damaged. And yeah, that's pretty much it for today. A whole heap of cable wires here to fit. I bolted the header tank on securely now. Need to find a new cap for that because it's pretty awful. It's been painted. And temporarily mounted the starter, so I can have a look and see where the breather pipe is going to be living. And of course it's going to be coming from there across the top of the gearbox into the lower connector, and the upper cam breather will be coming round and into the top one. So of course these are going to be not stealth black, but they're going to be red and blue anodized items, so they'll be replaced at that point. But yeah, all the hoses in and tightened down, with the exception of the lower header tank one because I've run out of clips. Yeah, that's it now. It's got a couple of pipes to clean and to fit. This is the lower one that goes round from the bottom hose and through there. It splits for the water cooler, oil cooler, sorry, and then goes on to the radiator. So yeah, not a bad shift today really. All in all, pretty happy with it, and it gives you an idea now of how it's actually going to look. So happy chappy today, happy chappy, other than the issue with the footage of actually hoisting the engine in. It wasn't that interesting anyway, to be honest. It's took a while, but hey ho, it is what it is. And I'll see you in the next bit. Good morning everyone. The morning after the night before the engine went in. Unusually for a Sunday morning, I've received some fittings through the post. That's a first for me, receiving things like this on a Sunday morning. But anyway, basically I've put them on to the catch tank and they look really good. I've actually cut and trial fitted one of the hoses from the cam cover just to see how it looks. I've clipped the injector loom back on. That's it, nothing else really has been connected up. I need to make a sense of all of this now and make sure it's all tidy and that it works and water pipes don't cross them and that kind of stuff. But that's it for this episode. It's a biggie. It's over 50 minutes. It's the biggest one, but I felt I wanted to do all of this in one episode. I really hope you've enjoyed it. Still gutted about the lack of footage of the engine going in. You know, just, you know, it is what it is on that one. And yeah, just thanks to everyone for subscribing. Thanks for following the channel, my journey with this car. There's a lot more to come again, and but if you haven't yet, please think about subscribing. And yeah, thanks very much for watching everyone. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next episode.